Good morning. We are going to do something a little bit different today. I will be building an app primarily using, an AI agent. I'll be using Cursor. The point of this video is not to do any vibe coding. I don't believe in vibe coding. I would define as vibe coding is, just using natural language to describe the app that you're using, but not reviewing any of the code. My hope is that this is going to be a series where I test things out because I think it's worth evaluating sort of the pros and the cons of relying on AI to help build things because they're obviously not perfect. There's many reasons why people are understandably concerned about these things. And so I want to do some exploring. So my goal for today is to build a blog that uses Notion. So I think many of you are probably familiar with Notion. It's like the modern Evernote. Do y'all remember? Do people still use Evernote? I have no idea. My goal here is to be able to use Notion as my CMS. I think many of us developers are very guilty of anytime we're like, I should start a blog. We spend 90% of our time building the CMS. That's enough of an intro. Let's build a blog. Okay, so here is Cursor. I hope this is big enough. So we're just gonna run npx astro latest. Yes, let's install this. We're gonna call this, what do I want to name this blog? Sanity Corner. That's what we're calling it. And for the record, I am actually gonna use this. Install dependencies, yes, blah, blah, blah. Okay, I'm willing to bet I will be writing like maybe 5% of this code. All right, we're going to see how this goes. Again, I'm going to review all of the code. Okay, so here's what we've got. We have our database in Notion that includes all of my blog posts. So here are all of them. You can open them up and see the incredible, very poetic writing that I'm doing, Lorem Ipsum. I've got a status. I don't really know if that's necessary. Publish date, category, and whether or not it's actually published. And so I'll be filtering based on that published field, to decide whether or not I want to show it on the website. So I've already gone ahead and created an integration for this. So I called it just like AI blog stuff. I have this integration key, which I need to set as an environment variable. These are the capabilities. So really all I need to connect to Notion is this integration key, and then I'll get the ID of my database. Let's create an env file. Some of y'all are going to be like, Annie, you're showing your environment variables. I know, listen, all of this is going to get rotated by the time this video comes out, so freak out not. Awesome, okay. So again, I'm moving through this part relatively quickly because again, I've worked with the Notion API, but we are going to get to points where I don't really know what's happening. So y'all can laugh at me at that point. What is happening with my hair? So we got our integration key. We got this, blah, 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 blah. So let's go to our pages, which is in here. So what do we want in here? This is going to be the home page, which is just going to be a grid of posts. I'll probably just do a 2-column grid. Each post will have a header image. So if we go to Notion, you can see that I have these images. Fair warning, these images are gigantic because I downloaded them from Unsplash, which is a great free stock image site. It's going to be a little clunky, but that's fine. So let's get started. I'm building a blog that pulls my posts from a database in Notion. I already have the Notion integration key in my env file as well as the database ID. On my index page, I'd like to have a 2-column grid of all the posts from my database. The elements in the grid should include the title, image as a thumbnail, and publish date. I only want posts where published equals true. Oh, I forgot one more thing. Also, I'd like to style this project using Tailwind. Please add that. Okay, let's see what happens. Okay, it's adding the Tailwind configuration. Blur, blur, blur. So already I can see that because it doesn't know about my database or the columns that are in it, it's making up fields that are, they're not quite right. Cover image is one of them. I'll probably just change this to image. I mean, granted, this is just the type that it's creating. I'll probably update that, but it might impact how it fetches data. So we'll see what happens. If you're not familiar with Astro, the way it works is it looks a little bit like JSX. It's not JSX. You put all of the server-side logic for a given page here. We've got this get post. So let's go ahead and accept all the changes and let's give this a look-see. So get publish post. What is this? So they created this utility function. Let's go check it out. Notion post. Property published equals true. Publish date. No, it's not cased like that. It's actually like this. Descending. That looks good. Okay, so here, it makes some mistakes because it doesn't know what the structure of my data. So here, it's looking for okay. So here it's taking a guess, like, is there a URL field? And that is not correct. It should just be image. And I think casing matters. Yeah, I think it's properties, actually. That looks good. Publish date, properties. So here, again, it's not camel case. Is it camel case if the first letter is capitalized? Okay, cool. You know what? I want to change this cover image thing to just image, which means that I'm going to change this type. Okay, all of that looks good. Let's give this a whirl. Awesome. API token is invalid. You're invalid. Let's see. Let's see what's going on. Oh my gosh. Sometimes things are just like the most obvious problems. Let's just like undo all of that. It helps when you use the right environment variable name. Integration key. Let's try that again. Why did I name it something unintuitive? Okay. Oh my gosh, it worked. Y'all, this is incredible. This is incredible. Okay, so now what it's not doing is pulling in the images. So we want to fix that. Let's see what's going on. Okay, so it is loading the image. Let's look at the actual markup to see what the heck it's doing. Oh, I see. I'm gonna just delete this and just assume that the post has an image. Let's just log all the posts and see what's going on. That's interesting. It's just blank. Okay, let's see how we're fetching this image. So this is what the properties can be. So if we go down to files, oh, look, file URL. Let's go back here. So here we're just getting files. Do I need to do file URL? File.url? I mean, it's not giving me a type error. Let's give that a go. Look at that. As you can see, I'm a big fan of crepes. So all of my blog post images are crepes for now. So additionally, we can see that it even though I had 4 blog posts in Notion, right? 4 blog posts, it's only loading the ones that are published. So that's awesome. So now let's go ahead and make these links so we can click on them and view the blog post. Okay, let's give this a try. So awesome. Now let's make each of those post blocks a link to that post. Each post should have its own page with a URL like /ID, where the ID is the post ID. The individual post pages should have the header image, the title, I forgot the publish date, and then render all the blocks. In this case, the block should just be marked down. So a little bit about Notion. You have pages, and you might just think like it's got a title and then it's got the body, but really pages are made up of blocks. If we look at Notion, we can see that you can see here on the side you can like rearrange this stuff. This is not a paragraph, this is a block in Notion. Now, when you're just writing text, it effectively, it basically functions as just a normal paragraph. But when you look at the content here in the code, you'll see that it actually spits out just a bunch of, like an array of JSON objects, which are the blocks. And these blocks can be all sorts of things. I am not a Notion expert, so I'm just used to using blocks as pieces of text, but I think you could probably throw in a table or something like that, or some other fancy things. I don't really know. Anyways, let's give this a whirl. I gotta say, we are making incredible time. Like, it's been 30 minutes, and, the first 7 minutes of that was me just yapping. So that's, this is pretty incredible. And I've written very little code. Like, as you can see, I've just tweaked a couple of properties here and there, but that's basically it. Okay, cool. Let's accept all. Let's see what it did. Okay, so it made this a link to post ID. That looks good. Blah, blah, blah. All of that looks good. Okay, this content thing, I think this is going to be wrong. I'll be honest, I think this is going to be wrong, but we're going to see. Oh, I need to get rid of that console log, don't I? I think I have a console log in here. Yes, okay. Get rid of that. That's annoying to look at. Okay, let's click on this one. Oh no, not found. Okay, that's not good. Let's take a look. Okay, get static paths. Let me just do some sanity checks here. Let's make sure that console log ID is actually... What? That's not working. See, I'm not sure if this is like, for lack of a better term, like a legit 404, or if it's a 404 because we're not returning any posts. See what I mean? Well, okay, here's let's just comment this out and see what happens. Do we still get a 404? We do. Okay. So I'm doing something funky with the routing, clearly. Let's check the docs. I'm not an Astro expert, y'all. Let me see if they've got something about dynamic routing. Dynamic routes. Astro uses file-based routing. Yes, I'm fine with that. Oh, I think I do want this to be server rendered. I think that might be the problem. It's still saying get... Oh, that's weird. Okay, so I said, it's saying that if I meant to do this, have this route be server rendered, that I should do this. Export const pre-render false. Okay, so we're fixing a little type error. It added a comment. Okay. I don't think this is going to fix it. Is this going to fix it? That's weird. Okay. No, it didn't do anything. No, that didn't do anything. I really thought I understood dynamic routes in Astro. No, I don't want to get all of the no, reject. I don't want to get all of the posts. I think I need to pause here and understand this get static paths better. Oh, okay. So I'm reading in the docs that not needed if it's in server mode. Let's do this. Okay, so here we're saying if we put output server in our config, it'll just do this. I think this is what I want. I think this is why I was like, what is get static paths? Oh, we get it now. Let's go to our config and we're gonna do output server. So if we go back here, I don't think I need this anymore. Let's give it a go. Please work. Hey, it worked. Look at that. That's amazing. Okay, now it's not completely running the markdown correctly. So let's give this a try. Things are working correctly. Now that I set output server in the Astro config. I don't know if it's necessary to do this, but I always like if I make a change and it's not really aware, it's not like it doesn't know that based on our chat history, I'll just be like, oh, I think I figured it out without you. I did this thing. So then again, might not be necessary, but I like to keep Claude up to date. Now the problem is that the content of the post is just outputting text and not rendering the markdown of correctly. If block type equals paragraph. Oh, I see. So what's interesting about this is that even though you can use Markdown to write Notion blocks, what I'm learning is that It's not real Markdown. They have like each block has a property that's like, is this an H1? Is this a bulleted list or something like that? Is this code? Is this whatever? That's good to know. Interesting. Okay, let's try this. I don't fully understand this part. Oh, but it worked. That's really interesting. Okay, great. So it did some styling on this. How did it do that styling? Okay, so they're using this new dependency called marked. That's pretty cool. Oh, I see what's happening here. I'm an idiot. Okay, so what they're doing is they're just getting the text as plain text. So basically, like, if this is a paragraph, just return the text as is. If this block is listed as heading 1, then return, basically prepend the text with, a pound symbol and then the text. Same thing with the H2, H3, bulleted list, blah, 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 blah. So basically it's modifying it so it actually includes the markdown, and then we're using this marked thing. It's not actually using this. Why did it include that? That's weird. Oh, but it's using it here. I see. Let's go ahead and delete this here. We don't need this here. Let me look up this marked dependency. One thing you got to be careful of is a horrible term called slop squatting, where people will just like they'll just make up dependencies that are actually malicious, but they sound like real dependencies. I'm willing to bet that marked is probably fine, but we'll see. Oh yeah, weekly downloads. 14 million. It's probably fine. How are we using it? Okay, I want to check out what it's done to the Tailwind config. This feels weird. Like, surely there's a better way of doing this. Rather than have all of this here, I would rather use like a Tailwind CSS file where you modify sort of like the core elements rather than changing it in the config. Tailwind experts, tell me if that's like the way to go. I don't really know. This just like setting the CSS like this feels a little strange. I'd rather like, I don't know. Okay, let's try this again. No, I want to reject all. Yeah, okay, so this is what I'm talking about. This is more what I'm used to. Cool. Blah, 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 blah. All right, let's give this a whirl. Okay, that seemed to work. Now let's double check that it actually works by modifying the CSS styles, markdown CSS. Yeah, this is all good. H2, let's do text red. Let's do 600, make it super, super obnoxious. So if we go here, please work. Hey, it's working. Perfect. Oh, I don't have like a backlink to home, do I? Here we go. Add a backlink to the homepage. Perfect. That works. Great. This all feels really good. I'm going to pause here and actually, I'm going to deploy this to fly.io. So let's see how this goes. Now I could have Claude generate me a Docker file for this project. I'm going to, you know what? Let's go for it. Let's go for it. Make me a Docker file for this project, please. I'm pissing off Sam Altman with my please and thank yous because apparently that's like a waste of tokens. My apologies. Okay, all of that looks good. Got a little Docker file. Cool. Now let's go ahead. Oh, we're adding a Docker ignore. Yes, that's important too. So let's go ahead and do fly launch. You ready? Oops, something happened. Okay, got a build error. Let's see what happened. Oh, interesting. Cannot use server rendered pages without an adapter. Okay, I think I need to add, there's like an Astro node thingy. Server-side rendering. Yeah, okay, so let's add Astro node. I guess is I need the node JS adapter. Is that right? If so, go ahead and add it, please. So a bit about Fly Launch. If it fails to build, like what happened here, the app has likely already been created. So instead of doing Fly Launch again, we're just going to do Fly Deploy. I'm a little baffled at how much I was able to get done in 1 hour. I was expecting, like, I was allocating like at least 2 hours, maybe 3. Maybe not to do all of this, but I think if I was just writing this by hand, I still would be like futzing around with the Notion API. Okay. Oh, look, we're deployed. Let's check this out. Oh, I need to set some secrets though. Let's do fly secrets set, and we're going to do Notion. What was it? So I'm setting my database and integration key. Again, I will be rolling these credentials, these API keys. So, yeah, don't even try to use them because they're not going to work. This is great. Y'all, I'm on a roll here. I might reward myself with a chocolate chip cookie after this. Pro tip, if you want to become a good programmer, you should always reward yourself whenever you do something good. Ideally, something sugary. All right, let's give this a whirl. sanitycorner.fly.dev. Will it work? No. Cool. Fly logs. Let's check them out. So what's happening here is I was deploying to Fly. A couple of things were wrong. First thing is that whenever you're deploying an app to Fly, you do need to make sure that the port that you're running on is listed in your fly.toml. That should be this internal port. And then you also want to make sure, I don't know if this is necessarily Astro or node specific, but you want to make sure that your host is 0000. All right, you don't want to be using localhost. So that was a little bug that I ran into. The other thing I'm running into is that it's saying that these API keys or that my like environment variables are not correct. And I have a feeling, so if I SSH'd into one of my machines and clearly the environment variables are being set correctly. So I have a feeling it's something to do with how I'm accessing them. Okay, we're going to try this. I have a feeling that maybe in production this is not working. So let's try this. Another issue I was running into is that the way that this app was written, and this is on my part because I don't think I detected how it could get stuck in a bunch of redirects if the API key wasn't set correctly. So thankfully I was able to fix that, but it wasn't because I had the right API key set in development. I didn't notice that issue. So that's something to watch out for. And that was on me. I didn't catch that. All right, so we're restarting our machines. Nothing is fixed, but we should see this in our logs. Okay, here's the issue. Y'all. Okay, so it looks like this returns undefined. The thing is that envar is defined because I was able to SSH into one of my machines and echo out that variable. I think the issue might be that import.meta.env doesn't work in production. Maybe? What do you suggest? I think that's the issue. This is a common issue with Astro and environment variables in production. Blur, 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 blur. Cool. All right, let's give this a shot. So let's get out of our logs. Let's do fly deploy. It's working. Yay. Okay. This was really exciting. I was able to deploy this on Fly. The reason I want to do this is because I want to sort of give a candid look at what it's like working with LLMs to build software. Again, I am not pro vibe coding where you just sort of like write things and never review the code. That said, it's even when you do review the code, there are things that you can miss. All in all, that took me an hour to build. That's pretty insane, you guys. All of that in just an hour. If you'd like to see more videos like this, let me know in the comments. I mean, you're gonna see more videos like this. This is gonna happen regardless. I'd like to try using some languages and frameworks that I'm not familiar with, because I think learning how to learn with LLMs is a bit of an art. because obviously it can spit out a lot of nonsense. And when you're new to a technology, you don't always know how much it's been trained on. It's just worth being aware of what kind of tool you're working with and being observant of when it starts to make things up, right? You have to be extra vigilant, I think, the more niche the technology you're using, and also the less familiar you are with a particular technology. So anyways, I'm rambling now. I need to eat some food. I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.